this is where all of my money goes.
Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about homeowners that are regretting buying their houses. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back to share my 2 cents.
My money goes. Every time a bill comes, I just hate owning a home because who needs to pay $250 for fucking electric?
Fancy post. I regret buying a house. I regret it a lot. If I could go back to January 2022, I would tell that girl, do not. Just find another apartment to move into, because doing all this shit that I have to do for this house and all the unexpected costs, high dollar unexpected costs that I keep running into, to be handling it by myself, is ass. So to all you young women who want to go out and buy a home, I encourage you to really think about it. Talk to some people and really see the ins and outs. I mean, it always sounds good. Oh yeah, your mortgage is only going to be $1,000 until they reevaluate your property taxes, and that bitch goes up $200. You know, it's trash. 85 degrees, your AC is going to go out. You don't want to know how much that costs. It's trash.
I think one of my biggest pieces of advice for first-time homebuyers, and one of my regrets, so learn from my mistakes, is to slow down. Most of my first-time homebuyers, myself included, are buying fixer-uppers, right? Like, it's where we live is super expensive. Most of them need a little bit of work, and you want it done so fast. Sit on it for a little while. See what works in the house, see what floors you like, figure out your style, make a Pinterest board. I immediately got a new privacy fence, ordered a custom back door, like new carpet. I wanted, honestly, looking back, I spent way too much money. And then I would make more money and I would still spend it because I wanted to get the house done, and it's still not done. And also, I didn't know my style and what I wanted. So now looking back, I would honestly change a lot of what I did. Even if you have it, don't spend all your money, please. That is one of my biggest regrets, and it doesn't happen overnight. Making a house a home takes time, and I mean, here I am 3 years later, still renovating, obviously. So it's just chill out a little bit. Just chill, feel the house, figure out what you like, save up a little bit of money, and just know that.
Y'all, I am regretting buying a house. My fiance and I have not even lived in it for a year, and we had to buy an AC unit already, which is thousands and thousands of dollars. Obviously necessary and worth it, but very unfortunate. We're also trying to plan a wedding, so that was not ideal for the budget. And then we had to add gutters, and then on top of that, we now probably have to replace our water heater. Just can't catch a break. And before anyone comes at me, we did have an inspection. None of it was flagged. So it's been a rough day. It's been a rough couple months.
I think this might actually be kind of a hot take, but buying a house was one of the worst things I've ever done. Obviously, everyone wants different things. Every market is different. Everyone's personal financial situation is different. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, we live just outside of Austin, and we bought a house, and houses here are just very expensive. So we couldn't really get a cheap house. So our house is a little pricey. And we bought about 2 years ago, and we did a new build, so we didn't have to put a lot of money down, which was great. But anyway, when we signed the contract to buy the house, it was still being built. By the time we closed, interest rates had gone up by almost a full percentage point. And we also locked in when house prices were the highest. So basically we bought it the worst time possible in, the past few years. Within 2 months of living in that house, I realized that I did not want to live there. It's way too far from all of our favorite stuff. It's way too expensive. It's too much space, honestly. I don't like having to care for that much space. And I don't like feeling locked down. Like, I don't like feeling like we can't just like pick up and move when our lease is up or something. It took my husband longer to realize he felt the same way, but he also feels the same way. We decided that we would try to sell our house because we were like, we're just not happy here. Like, this wasn't the best decision for us. Like, let's just go. And we listed it like a year and a half, tried to list it at a price where we would at least break even. And obviously we haven't sold yet. It's been a year and a half. At this point, we are taking a huge loss on the house and taking out a personal loan to cover it, which I know sounds crazy, but our rent will be so drastically cheaper that even with a personal loan payment each month, we are each still saving like $1,000 a month once we move to an apartment. I don't necessarily regret buying the house because I'm the kind of person that has to do something in order to realize whether I like it or not. And so I had it in my mind that like buying a house was the goal. Like, everyone wants a house. It's the best decision you can make. It's a great financial investment, which like it absolutely can be if you time the market correctly, or if you're just going to stay there for like a really long time. Although I will say we've calculated, even if we stayed for 30 years, say paid off our whole mortgage, and then wanted to sell our house and like make back money on it, the amount of money we would have paid in interest and everything, all said and done, our house would at that point have cost us like, I think almost $2 million or something, or like $1.7 million. And I kind of doubt that even in 30 years, we could sell for 2 mil or something and make, you know, a few $100,000 off of it. Like, I just don't think it's ever gonna be an investment that like pays off for us. I don't like totally regret doing it because I think I had to do it in order to realize it's not what I want. But if I could go back, obviously I would not buy the house. I would just stay renting in Austin. We would have saved so much money. But I think I would have always longed for a house, and I think I would have hated renting because I thought I wanted a house. So anyway, as my uncle put it, education is expensive. And that made me feel like the tiniest bit better about it. But anyway, I'm very excited to go back to renting. I don't think I will ever buy a house again unless I can pay for it basically in cash. Or we are just like, you know, set for life, kind of rich, don't ever have to worry about a mortgage. We can pay people to take care of the landscaping, all that stuff. Because living here in Austin, apartments are really, really nice. And compared to other major cities, they're very cheap for what they are. You get a lot of amenities. Like, if you get a good management, you know, company, like, they're great about taking care of stuff. There's always like a resort style pool, a great gym. Like, it's a good setup. So in order for us to have that at home, especially with a pool, it would just be very expensive. So anyway, all in all, I don't recommend buying a house unless, you know, you're like wanting to stay there for a long time and you're really sure about that. I just think it's not the right move for a lot of people, and it's like such a narrative that it's the best thing that you can do, and it's the American dream, and it's the goal.
Is being house poor worth it? Is owning a house but not being able to do anything, not being able to afford to go out and experience more life and like make memories worth it? I see so many people on this app that are like, oh, well, I enjoy my mortgage and stuff like that. But do you? Like, you get one life. That's it. We all know that, okay? And to be stuck at home for maybe even, just say, the next 10 years, doing really nothing, watching Netflix and rotting away, is it really worth it? Because you felt the need, because society tells you that, like, if you don't own a house at some point, you're failing in life. You felt the need to follow those footsteps, and now you're stuck at home. I just feel like that's not worth it anymore. Yes, back in the day, you could own a house, you could go on trips, you could have this whole family thing, all this. But y'all that are trying to flex on others, saying, oh, well, I own a house. You don't. Yeah, but at least they have the money to rent and leave the house and go and do things. I'm not saying you have to go party every weekend or anything like that, but at least they can go out and see their family, fly somewhere, take vacations. Like,
paper, but probably couldn't afford. And every single month is a struggle for them. I would not wish that upon anybody. This is why you have to know the difference between eligibility and affordability. Because when you go to get pre-approved to buy a home, a lender is going to qualify you for the maximum amount that you can qualify for. You have to know that they are qualifying you based off of your pre-tax income, aka your gross income. And we're also only looking at your credit debts, like credit cards, car payments, and student loans. We ain't looking at your utilities. We're not looking at your daycare. We're not looking at your gas and groceries and everything that you also have to pay for every month just to live. Yeah, your lender might have approved you for a $500,000 house, but before you go any further, you need to see what that payment on that $500,000 house look like, because it is better to rent than to be house poor. This is why I always tell people,
I bought a house when I was 26 and fell immediately into poverty. Okay, when I lived with my parents, I was living my best luxury lifestyle. I went to South Korea, bought a 2000 plane ticket, didn't even blink twice. I went shopping, luxury goods, all that. Was traveling, was just, oh, I was living it up. I felt rich. I had no bills. And I had a full-time 9-to-5 job. I was working as a nurse, okay? I was killing it. I bought my own house. That first mortgage payment came in and I was like, oh, this is a situation. But at first you think you can handle it, right? Like, what's a couple thou? What's a couple thou? I got it. But then the pipes in my 80-year-old home broke immediately as soon as I bought the house. Wiped out my savings. Then another pipe in a different area of the house broke. Okay, I'm struggling. Okay, I need help. Then my neighbor's pipe, it was a twin house, her pipe broke. And she didn't believe that her pipe broke, but her pipe broke on my side of the house. So all of that water that was coming down was spraying into my home. And then my water heater broke. When I tell y'all, I went from living in the lap of luxury to destitute immediately. Now, don't get me to fooling y'all, because it was worth it in the long run, because that house is now worth like 2 times what it was worth then. So I'm actually doing pretty good. But at the time, when I tell you I was struggling, I had to go to my parents every other day for dinner because your girl could not feed herself.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here also to share my 2 cents, like what I think about today's video. More and more people regret buying houses. So for the first time buyers, regret start with some things: hidden costs. The mortgage payment might seem manageable at first glance, but once you add insurance, property tax, repairs, utilities, and random emergencies, that monthly number, it goes up. Some people find themselves house poor, which means they are technically homeowners but can't afford much else. No dinner out, no vacation, sometimes not even basic comfort. They have tied up their money into their home. Now they're stuck living paycheck to paycheck just to keep up. Then there is the maintenance. When you rent, if something breaks, you call the landlord. But when you're the owner, you're the landlord. And the water heater, leaky roof, broken AC, or moldy bathroom, that's all you need to do. Some homeowners realize too late that they did not budget for those responsibilities. They might have been emotionally ready to buy but not financially equipped to maintain. That's when the regret set in, because suddenly this dream of a home feels more like a financial trap. Let's not forget location. So many buyers feel pressure to get in the market and buy whatever they can afford. That often means compromising on the location. Maybe they end up in a neighborhood that's far from work, far from friends, with a longer commute and few resources. Over time, that isolation eats away at their quality of life. And that house they thought would bring them joy becomes a daily reminder of what they gave up just to say, I own a house. And another reason people regret buying homes is that their life changes faster than the market. Maybe they bought a house with a partner and now the relationship is over, or maybe they had kids or lost a job or needed to relocate. Selling a house is not like canceling a race. It takes time, money, and sometimes it's just not an option. So they feel stuck. The flexibility they used to have, it's gone, and the mortgage becomes a chain around their ankle. Some home ownership start to feel more like a prison sentence than a blessing. Okay, a blessing. There is also a psychological side to regrets. When you spend years saving up and finally buy a house, society tells you to be proud. Buy. What happens when the joy does not come? Some homeowners feel shame or guilty for not being happy. They start wondering, did I make a mistake? But then the deed is signed, the key are handed over, and there's no returning back. The mental weight can be heavy. Regret is not just a financial, it's emotional and it lingers. We also have to talk about FOMO. A lot of people rush to buy homes during the housing boom out of fear they've been left behind. They saw prices currently being panicked, but now the interest rates have risen, property values are fluctuating, and inflation is hitting bad. Many of those home buyers are looking at their mortgage and wondering, did I buy a house at the worst time? The fear of missing out pushed buyers' remorse because they didn't take time to truly assess its home ownership was right for them at the moment. Some homeowners also regret buying their house. They realize later that renting actually fit their lifestyle better. Renting is not always a bad thing. It offers flexibility. It allows you to live in a better area without a huge financial burden. And most importantly, it gives you peace of mind that if something breaks or if a situation changes, you can move on easily. Ownership locks you down. And for some people, that's not freedom, it's confinement. Okay. Of course, not all homeowners regret buying their houses. For many, it's a dream come true. But we need to stop pretending that it's only a dream worthy having. We need to give people space to speak about their regrets without judgment. Because the more we open up, the more we can learn from each other. Maybe that means waiting longer to buy. Maybe that means renting a little while longer while you build your finances. Or maybe that means choosing a small or more manageable home instead of chasing the biggest house. So a lot of people like they've just come out and say the truth. Like home ownership is it takes a lot. Because I came across a certain video where this woman was talking about she bought a house and 6 months later her roof started leaking. So she has to look for people to fix the roof. And how much does it cost? Okay, for these things. So we've seen a lot of people regret because they thought that it was cheapy for them, but they just realized like it's not enough money which I have to fix all these things. Like home ownership, you found that maybe you have this in the house, a lot of things are breaking down, and sometimes a crazy thing just happened and you don't have enough money in your bank account because you're the owner, you're supposed to fix every little thing which happens in that house. And when you're renting, the owner of the house is supposed to fix the house. Like if anything goes wrong, you have to you sign the contract. If you're comfortable with the conditions, you go ahead and rent. And if you don't feel comfortable in this house, you're able to move. And some people they feel so stuck when they buy a house because you can never move. That will be your home forever. Okay, unless you decide to sell it or so whatsoever. But people don't sell houses. They don't do that. So yeah, unless they have a lot of problems with it. But I've seen people say, I sold my house. Yeah, it happens sometimes. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.